Hi everyone, in this video tutorial I will give you an overview of what a Junopod lesson looks like and what you should be doing with a Junopod lesson. So from the assignment screen, you click open and that will take you two directions. This is the first Junopod lesson that we're doing this year, so the directions are very specific. So I'm going to go through each step so that you know exactly what to expect for a Junopod lesson. So for a Junopod lesson, the whole point is to learn the content. It's not a test, it's a learning experience or a learning exercise. With that, it's going to give you feedback. In other words, it will tell you, the Junopod will tell you whether your answer was correct or incorrect as soon as you put the answer in. So listen for those cricket and frog sounds. So turn your volume up so that you could hear that. You will also see an X or a check if you get the question right or wrong. If you choose the wrong answer, what's going to happen is you will have to correct that answer on the spot, but you're not finished. After you correct it on the spot, you're going to proceed with the whole tutorial until you get to the very end. Now, how you're going to know that you're at the very end is by looking at this progress bar at the bottom. The first part that shows you the number is going to tell you how much of the Junopod lesson you've seen. So right now we're on slide 1 of 20. Not all of that are questions. Most of them, actually maybe about half of them, are images and diagrams to support you with the questions, but there's still 20 slides you need to see before you reach the end of the Junopod. Once you reach the end, so page 20 of 20, the next time you click on that right arrow, you will see any questions that you got wrong the first time around. You're going to see them again, but this time blank. It'll be another opportunity for you to put an answer in. Another thing you need to pay attention to is this progress bar right here. So in addition to the numbers show you what you've seen. The progress bar shows you what you've gotten right. So it's very possible that you could be up to page 20 of 20 and only halfway with the progress bar, which means that you have half of the questions to see again and try again. So pay attention to these two things at the bottom. They're very important. This icon right here will also read chunks of the Junopod to you if you need, and you can always click that on.
Junopod tutorial.
And click that off. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but it highlights as it reads. So what you just saw highlighted,
Junopod tutorial,
is reading it aloud. So you could do the same thing on your device. So again, once you've corrected on the spot, you go through your whole Junopod and then you see that question pop up again at the end to really make sure that you learned it. From there, you should definitely answer it correctly. I hope you'll be taking notes as you go through the Junopod. But if you don't answer correctly, you will have to keep clicking to the right until you see that question pop up again. Since you receive feedback and you can make unlimited corrections on your Junopod lessons, all of these lessons must be turned in with a score of 100% to receive credit. So there's no partially complete. Either you have completed the Junopod in its entirety and you've corrected all your answers to 100%, or you do not get credit. And you will get feedback and reminders with this until you're comfortable. So we do warn you to rush at your own risk. Since you have to make these corrections, it can become tedious. It can become a little bit frustrating at the end if you've rushed through and now you have to repeat the whole thing again. So take notes as you go. Take your time. Do not rush. So let's see what this looks like on the first question. So the first question type is multiple choice. Very simple and straightforward. Which planet do we live on? I'm going to get this wrong so we can see what happens. Let's choose Jupiter. Now there's a frog sound and we get the feedback of the X. We know that this is incorrect. So I'm going to correct this right now on the spot. This is the first correction I make. Pay attention to your progress bar. We're going to move on to page 4 of 20, but notice how this progress bar does not change because we won't get credit for getting this right since we've already gotten this wrong. Tap on Earth, and then we advance to the next slide. We'll have another opportunity to get that one right at the very end. And I'm actually going to skip all the way to the end so that you could see. Notice how my progress bar is not changing, but we are going up from slide to slide. So I'm going to keep going until we hit 20. And you won't do this. You're going to go through each question by question. Here's page 20 of 20. Now I'm going to click again. And notice here's that one that we got wrong initially. It says try this one again. I'm going to get it right this time. Pay attention to the progress bar. Now we've gotten credit for that question. And we're going to go through the rest of the Juno pod, okay? And that's pretty much how you do it. There will be another video shortly to describe the different types of questions. This one, for example, is multiple answer, where you would have to choose more than one answer. So if we chose, just look for the color change on the left side, it's a little bit easier. Question is, which of the following are mammals? Choose humans, cats, and mice. That's multiple answer, okay? And then you would check that with the check mark. Okay, and we'll stop here for this video.